Hi everyone. I want to go over the case creation assignment that you'll perform as a group during the semester. There are two components to this exercise, a case creation or case study paper and a Zoom PowerPoint recording that you'll submit. Although this project isn't due until the end of the semester, there is one mid-semester deliverable, which I'll go through soon. And it's worth 30% of your course grade, so you want to give it the attention it deserves. My role is to give you as much help, support, and a motherload of tools to help ensure your success. First, I'd like to go over the group formation. If you've listened to the discussion board video, you'll see that I have already assigned everyone to a group simply by alphabetical order. However, in this case, I am going to allow you to choose the group in which you want to work. And also, this group includes a specific Hartley-Claycomb case from the Marketing Mistakes and Successes textbook. There's another video that explains what is involved in that assignment. So let me walk through here. This is my screen, not yours, because I want to show you the mechanics. But you'll be getting to this. So you've already seen how I split up the discussion boards. Again, these are pre-assigned, but the H and C case creation groups are not assigned, and these happen to be everybody here. So all you have to do is just put yourself in one of these blocks. If you have an interest in any of these particular cases or have an interest in working with certain people, that's fine. Currently, we have 52 students in this class, so some of the groups will not have the full maximum, some will, of 9 students. But it's my job as an instructor to make sure that the teams are as balanced as possible in regards to the numbers. I think that'll work out by itself. Anyway, it's one of the first things you want to do, besides listen to the rest of the videos or watch the rest of the videos for the course, is to get yourself aligned in one of these groups. The H and C cases are due midway in the semester, but this is also part of that as well. Okay. I provided a PowerPoint for your viewing pleasure, and that is located in the rubrics module, as well as, like I said, a cornucopia of knowledge about case creating, examples, and so on. And we'll get to those shortly, but let me go through the PowerPoint. So what is the case creation? It's going to obviously be marketing focused because that's what you're involved. And it can be on any organization that's real, of course, that involves any of the 4 Ps, product, price, promotion, and place, or any other marketing related topic for product. It could be maybe a firm that's kind of coming up with a new offering, or has obviously initially indicated that new offering and already implemented it, how to go. Divestitures, configurations, price. It could be something with new pricing points related to what's going on in the macro environment. It could be promotional based, a new advertising campaign or proposed advertising campaign or a sales promotion, or maybe has something to do with public relations, good or bad. Could have to do with the place element, either logistics, supply chain, retailing, distribution, perhaps e-commerce. And there could be a lot of other things. Maybe a company decided to go with a new advertising firm. Perhaps there could be an acquisition between companies. Maybe Could be a crisis that how did they deal with it or didn't deal with it. So it's wide open to whatever you want. So who might you get? Well, like I said, it has to be a real life organization, but it could be something that you're working on for the first time. In other words, maybe it's an organization that you're starting to you're talking with, or you're interested in knowing what they're doing. Maybe a local organization, perhaps, or regional one. It could be one that's been around a long time, and maybe they've already went through this stuff, and you're just going to tack on to what they did and do the case study based on that. Or it could be a combination. Perhaps it's a big organization that uh, is doing something now, and maybe they can share some information with you. Chances are your best bet is to work with somebody that already has access to a company or an organization. But if you can't do that, then of course you can find out a lot about the organization, maybe some of the initiatives they had, and of course you can talk with them. So the assignment is broken down this way. As I said, it's both a paper, which is a case study, just like you have in the Marketing Mistakes and Successes book, as well as many other case studies that you've probably had in your academic experience. But the organization of both the paper as well as the presentation starts out with an opening paragraph or paragraphs, something about the industry, company background, the decision makers that are involved, the specific problem or decision, alternatives from the organization, what you the research, or perhaps your own team's group's thoughts, and that was not least a conclusion. And this conclusion is just a quick blurb about what you learned, the experience, but also indicate two case questions. Now, I'm going to show you a rubric here shortly, which will break these down a little bit more in detail. First of all, the opening paragraph. And this is extremely important. And this opening paragraph, as well as the organization you're going to choose, is going to be due on Wednesday, November 16th. So you'll need to follow this up uh, rather soon. And what is in an opening paragraph? And I'm going to give you some examples. These are the kind of questions I'm going to evaluate you on. Is the decision maker identified by name and position? Is the time of the place clear? Is the location of the organization identified? Is the issue, decision, problem, or opportunity clearly identified? Has the storyline cut been made at the right time? I'll explain that. Has the decision frame cut made at the right time? I will also explain that. And what's the action trigger? What gets this all going? Did it happen with internal correspondence? Is it something that happened on the outside? Is there some sort of communique that came through and people had to react? Okay, so what's a storyline? Every issue has some chronological variable to it, and depending on when they occur, will influence the decisions that have to be made. So a storyline just essentially says, when are you gonna approach this? What happened in the organization, and when are you going to attack that to put together your case study? These are from the Leander's textbook that I've created or put the images in the case creation resources. And like I said, we're going to go to that shortly. It's also, and I put this as an option book to buy. It wasn't a required textbook, but it's a very, very good book, Writing Cases, by, of course, Leenders and Erskine. It's very inexpensive. You could probably get one for less than $10, but if you don't, all the primary chapters are in there. They're just kind of a cut and paste with images. But anyway, I wanted to show you examples of from the book about different types of storylines. All right. So apparently, this is some sort of uh, Brazilian industrial products producer, and this is how this particular first paragraph case is written. I mean, for example, the first one, Senhor da Silva, marketing manager at Delbar, a Brazilian industrial products producer located in Curitiba, Brazil, received the fourth-month sales report from Milo, a new product launch in August. Sales were much lower than forecasted, and Senor da Silva wanted to determine why. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff in there, but apparently the storyline cut here is that he's looking at a 4-month sales report, and he figures out, well, there's something wrong here. There's a certain low forecast. Now compare that with this one over here, storyline cut 6. Senora Polson, a marketing consultant in Curitiba, Brazil, had completed her analysis of a failed new production introduction and was ready to plan her presentation to the president of the client company. Okay, well, that's it. It has to do with the same kind of thing, but the fact is, it's a whole different storyline. Down here, okay, it was, and they give the date, June 22nd, whatever, and Senor Pereira, president of Delbar, Brazilian company, had just interviewed Senor Gomez, a potential candidate for the position of marketing manager recommended by a consultant. As he reviewed the resume in the interview, he was trying to determine if this was the right person. So depending on what you're going to attack, the storyline will kind of dictate that. So you can go forward or backward. Here, it looks like they moved forward from the time where he's not very happy with he's not happy with the sales, and then down here in this one, he's not happy with the uh, the marketing manager, and then down here they just get ready to hire somebody else. So you can see how that works. Depending on what you look at, it will determine the decision frame cut. And what we're talking about here is, what are you going to focus on? Is it going to be some primary research where you're still looking at what an issue might be, whether it's sales are slumping, there is a reaction to, let's say, COVID, and what did the company do, or what are they thinking about doing? Perhaps you've already identified the issue, and now it's in a position where you're getting information. Perhaps you've gathered the information, now you're looking at alternatives. Maybe you've made a decision. Maybe you've already made that decision, now you're in the process of implementing, or maybe you've already implemented it, now you're evaluating the results. Let's say that there's an advertising campaign that's already out there, let's say for Peloton, and now you're going to evaluate how well did they do. Well, Peloton did very well initially, but when COVID kind of went away, or at least part of it, not done so hot. But that's just an idea. So, or maybe the decision was with Peloton to go with or think about increasing your subscription rates, or maybe offering new products as opposed to just a bike, maybe the rowing machines or the treadmills. And of course, with the treadmills, you remember what happened. I think a little kid got killed because screwing around with it. So how did they react to that? Anyway, there's many different frame cut options you have. However, you should not want to try to do everything. Then you'll end up in scope creep, and you'll have a 1,000-page report. So my suggestion, and that's where I play coach, is to make sure that you only choose 1, 2, no more than 3 of these, and 2 is probably just the right amount. Now you can touch on these very briefly with a few sentences or a paragraph or two, but when you want to look into how things were worked out, you're really focusing on just one or two of these. Okay, so the first assignment you're going to have due is this sample paragraph. And again, this is taken from the leader's book. So look what I did to here. I just kind of focused on everything, the criteria or the components of the opening paragraph. The question is the decision maker identified by name and position. Yeah, Senor da Silva. Is the time of the case clear? Yes. November 5th, 2000. It's something going on there. Is the location of the organization identified? Yes, very clearly. Number 4, is the issue, decision, problem, or opportunity clarified? In this particular case, it kind of is. Disappointed the forecasts were not met and wanted to determine what, if anything, you could do to turn Milo's sales around. So poor forecasts, and a decision has to be made if he could do anything to get those things around. Has the storyline been made at the right cut? In this particular case, yes. They recently introduced a new product. Now he's getting these results. Has the decision frame been made at the right time? Yes, they got the results and he wants to turn sales around. And last but not least, what's the action trigger? The fact that the forecasts were disappointed. So you can see in this particular example how everything kind of meshed together. Okay. Now I wanted to walk through the rubric with you that kind of puts things into greater detail. Again, this is for this semester, and there's 2 components, the case and the presentation. It's going to be on a Zoom recording, asynchronous. In other words, you're not going to record to a live audience, you're just going to do a recording. So again, the requirements. Write a 12 to 18 page, including exhibit appendices, case study of an organization faced with a marketing challenge. The organization must be real and willing to provide you with basic data that contributes to your case study creation, but does not violate the organization's confidence. Your team will organize the case study using the following subtitles. Details will follow. Let me just focus on this. Now, you might be able to get all the information you need out of just basic research, but it's always nice at your level, your MBA students, that you should try to contact somebody in these organizations. And if you need any kind of coverage or backup, then let me know. I have helped more than my share of student groups that said, look, we want to contact this person and whatever. They're wondering what's going on. And then I am able to kind of tide things over, and it works out well. So I've already went through these with you in the PowerPoint. Inform your instructor of your chosen organization and complete a rough draft of your opening paragraph by Wednesday, November 16th. Okay. Review the instructor supplied materials via Canvas on techniques for writing cases, as well as case studies we reviewed during this marketing course. I have tons of those, which I'll show you. And just a 12-point font, 1.5 margins all around, double spacing. Submit your case paper via Canvas Friday, December 9th. That's the last day of the class. You're going to submit your case creation PowerPoint presentation in the form of a Zoom PowerPoint Friday, December 2nd. The presentation should be 15 to 25 slides, including title and reference page, and 20 to 30 minutes in length max. Okay. Other things to consider. Tell a story first. All right, that's kind of what the opening paragraph will do. Then get into the problem solving. The marketing challenge should be real, interesting, relevant, and really easy to comprehend. Avoid scope creep, as I mentioned. Don't bite off more decision frames than you need. Gather, use data as conducive to laying the foundation for the case. Study analysis and not just random current state information. Avoid too small or private organizations. Yeah, you're not going to get enough stuff. Do not copy another case. Study. You don't want to do that, or you will not get any points for this. However, if there is case studies on your particular chosen organization, you can pull information from that. All right. So if you're looking at IBM or Toyota or something, and there's a case study from the Harvard Business Publishing about how they are going to get into electric vehicles, and you're going to talk about a safety issue that they had, then sure, you can pull information, but it should not be the same case study. That's plagiarism, and it's no good. Please allow me, as I said, run interference. Okay. This is going to be peer reviewed, so 50% of your grade will be determined by your team members, so please pull your weight. All right. Everybody should do as much as possible to do that. I'm going to ask you for your opinions later on of who did or did not do that. Okay. As I said, there are many resources in Canvas. Resources, the Leander's book, there's other references on how to write a case study, and there's about every one that we've done over the I've taught this class 8-9 times, and I have almost every one of the case studies, case presentations, and several of the opening paragraphs. What you're looking at now is an opening paragraph from one of my executive MBA groups, and this is feedback that I gave them in blue. So this is their opening paragraph, and you can see how they needed to address a lot of different things. It wasn't all that great. And as an instructor, my role was to try to give them some feedback. So I went through each one of these. Now this is located in Canvas, so you can look at it. And then I gave them some other verbiage down here. So if one thing that I've been told I'm halfway decent at, it's giving good feedback. Now, this is the same group after I have given them feedback with another opening paragraph. And you can see how much richer it is, and it hits almost all the buttons. Now, there's a couple little things, but for the most part, it is a night and day type of submission. So that's what I'm going to probably be doing with yours. It could be great first time, and I'll let you know. If it isn't, I'm going to give it the proper attention it needs. Okay, so they did a really good job on the second pass. Okay. So this is your view in Canvas, and as I said, you have a ton of information here to look at. First of all, excuse me, you have the PowerPoint I just showed you, you have the rubric, but then you have all of this information, all the chapters from Leander's in a PDF. Not that great to look at. That's why I said if you want to spend $10 for the book, then you got it. What makes a good case study, guidelines, and then you have what I just showed you, team, their initial opening paragraph, excuse me, and the creation of the next one, plus some other ones with feedback. You have all these PowerPoint presentations of all these different ones that they've done, and some of the papers behind them. Okay, so you have, like I said, a mother load of information that'll make you get this thing done. It sounds like a lot of work, and it is a little rigor, but again, you're an MBA student, so that's what you can expect. And you don't have a full semester, or excuse me, a full 16 weeks, so this kind of has to be expedited. However, I think you'll really appreciate your own efforts and the end result. And I am going to be your coach to help you out with that. So please feel free to bounce your ideas off me. And if necessary, we can schedule a Zoom conference if that would help. Just let me know. I'm here to help. Okay, again, let me know what's going on. And your first deliverable on here, like I said, is Wednesday, November 16th, and that's when you need to have your organization shows and your opening paragraph. You could always get a hold of me earlier too, but that's just the due date I expect. Okay, take care.